Amenemhat III Ancient Egyptian. Mht meaning Amen is at the forefront, also known as Amenemhat III. Was a pharaoh of ancient Egypt and the 6th king of the 12th dynasty. Of the Middle Kingdom, he was elevated to throne as co-regent by his father Senusret III, with whom he shared the throne as the active king for 20 years. During his reign, Egypt attained its cultural and economic zenith of the Middle Kingdom. Pharaoh reigned 40+ X according to the Turin canon, but at least 45 years in the 19th and 18th centuries BC. Predecessor snused ia successor Amenem Ivroyal titulary. Concertat, Kenemet Neferhej III, Heteptine children Neferuf, Amenemhat IV probably. Soban Neferu probably, Hatherhotep, Nubhotep Sithither, Father Senuret Burial, Pyramid at Haramonumentspri, at Dashur dynasty. 12th dynasty of Egypt. The aggressive military and domestic policies of Senusret III, which subjugated Nubia and wrested power from the nomarchs, allowed Amenemhat III to inherit a stable and peaceful Egypt. He directed his efforts towards an extensive building program, with particular focus on Fayum. Here he dedicated a temple to Sobek, a chapel to Renenet, erected to colossal statues of himself in Biamu, and contributed to excavation of Lake Moeris. He built for himself two pyramids at Dashur and Hawara, becoming the first pharaoh since Neferu in the 4th dynasty to build more than one. Near to his Hawara pyramid is a pyramid for his daughter Neferupta to acquire resources for the building program. Amenemhat III exploited the quarries of Egypt and the Sinai for turquoise and copper. Other exploited sites includes the schist quarries at Wadi Hamamat, amethyst from Wadi El Hudi, fine limestone from Tura, alabaster from Hatnub, red granite from Aswan, and diorite from Nubia. A large corpus of inscriptions attest to the activities at these sites. Particularly at Serabi el-Qadim, there is scant evidence of military expeditions during his reign, though a small one is attested at Qumma in his 9th regnal year. He also sent a handful of expeditions to Punt. In total, Amenemhat III reigned for at least 45 years, though a papyrus mentioning a 46th year probably belongs to his reign as well. Toward the end of his reign, he instituted a co-regency with Amenemhat IV, as recorded in a rock inscription from Semna in Nubia, which equates regnal year 1 of Amenemhat IV to regnal year 44 or 46 to 48 of Amenemhat III. Soban Neferu later succeeded Amenemhat IV as the last ruler of the 12th dynasty. There are a variety of contemporary sources attesting to the reign of Amenemhat III. Chief among these are the collection of inscriptions left at mining sites throughout Egypt, Nubia, and the Sinai Peninsula. His activities in the Sinai are particularly well attested to, spanning regnal years to 245. It is notable, though, that the overwhelming majority of these inscriptions originate outside Egypt. He is also well attested to through his statuary, with approximately 80 works attributed to him. His building program particularly concentrated around Fayum and the two pyramids that he had built. The Rhind mathematical papyrus, one of a limited set of evidence attesting to Egyptian knowledge of mathematics, is also thought to have been originally composed during Amenemhat III's time. Historical source Karnak King list from the Festival Hall of Thutmose c. 1479 to 1425 BC has a lacuna of 2 entries between Amenemhat II and Amenemhat IV, though 3 kings are known to have reigned during this period: Senusret II, Senusret III, and Amenemhat III. In the Abydos king list from the Temple of Seti I c. 1290 to 1279 BC in Abydos, Amenemhat III is attested by his praenomen Nefertiti in the 64th entry. His praenomen also occupies the 64th entry in the king list at the Temple of Ramesses II c. 1279 to 1213 BC in Abydos. In the Saqqara tablet from the tomb of the chief lector priest and chief of works Juneroi, Amenemhat III's praenomen occupies the 20th entry. The Turin canon has a lacuna in the mid-12th dynasty, preserving no names and only partial reign lengths. The 25th entry of the 5th column corresponding to Amenemhat III preserves only a regnal length of 40 plus X years. The entries of his presumed children and immediate successors, Amenemhat IV and Sobonneferu, are near wholly intact, preserving their praenomen and reign lengths. Amenemhat III is also mentioned in Maneto's Egyptology, originally composed circa the 3rd century BC, tentatively dated to the reign of Ptolemy II. The original work is no longer extant, but has persisted through the writings of Josephus, Africanus, Eusebius, and Syncellus. He is accorded a reign of 8 years under the name Lambda-alpha Chi Rho Eta Sigma, Romanized Lacharis, Lamares, by both Africanus and Eusebius. Syncellus accords him a reign of 43 years under the name Mui Rho Eta Sigma, Romanized Maris, as the 35th king of Thebes. Amenemhat III was the son of Senusret III, his predecessor on the throne. There is no explicit testimony to this filial relationship, however. The inference can be made from their co-regency. The identity of his mother is unknown. He had several sisters, Menet, Mireret, Senetsenbetes, Sithether, and a partially known Knemet. 2 of Amenemhat III's wives are known, Aut and Queennefertitidocumentary III, who were both buried in his pyramid at Dashur. Hetepti, the mother of Amenemhat IV, might be another wife. He had one confirmed daughter, Nefertiti, who appears to have been groomed as his successor, owing to her name being enclosed in cartouche. The Egyptologists Adon Dodson and Diane Hilton indicate that Nefertiti was originally buried at Amenemhat III's second pyramid at Hawara, but was eventually moved to her own pyramid after an early death. The Egyptologist Wolfram Grajewski contradicts this, stating that she was never buried in Hawara, but had possibly outlived her father and was buried elsewhere as a result. 2 other children, both of whom reigned as king, are also attributed to Amenemhat III, a son, Amenemhat IV, and a daughter, Sobonneferu. It has also been suggested that Amenemhat IV may instead have been a grandson. Evidence of burials of 3 other princesses, Hatherhotep, Nubhotep, and Sithether, were found at the Dashur complex, but it is not clear whether these princesses were Amenemhat III's daughters, as the complex was used for royal burials throughout the 13th dynasty. The relative chronology of rulers in the 12th dynasty is considered settled. The Ramesside king lists and the Turin canon are a significant source in determining the relative chronology of the rulers. The Turin canon has a lacuna of 4 lines between Amenemhat I and Amenemhat IV, recording only partial regnal lengths for the 4 kings, 10 plus X, 19, 30 plus X, and 40 plus X years, respectively.